my way toward Luzon Strait, I was getting pounded by these weather systems, and my pace was really slow. And China had not given me a visa, and Hong Kong just got hit by a pandemic,
Yeah.
and they're imposing 3-week quarantines, and they weren't going to let me stay on my vessel during that quarantine time. They want me to go to a hotel mixed with other people from all over the world, and I said, no, they're going to infect me.
Yeah.
Because I am coming healthy after months at sea by myself, and you want me to mix with all this crowd? No, I'm not doing that. So I changed course to Guam. I actually wanted to go to Saipan to keep the option of going to Luzon Strait still. Uh, Saipan didn't line up. I went for Guam. The winds wanted me to go there, and with that, I said I think I can continue from Guam toward Borneo, pass close to Mindanao, get into Celebes Sea, and go down to Makassar Strait. But after I left Guam, about 10 days after I left Guam, uh, I received a low pressure system passed, messed up all the winds in the Celebes Sea, messed up my winds, messed up the currents under me. Now the currents were running northwest toward Legazpi, Surigao Strait,
Oh,
Leyte Gulf. So any one of those, going to Mindanao was going to be a challenge. Um, it's later reset itself, went in that direction, but I decided, combined with the piracy and kidnapping risk in the Celebes Sea,
that's mostly happened in Mindanao, honestly, let me see.
Mindanao,
That's very
yes,
critical area there.
yes. And when we contacted Coast Guard, we weren't getting a straight answer. We weren't getting any guarantees. We weren't getting any uh, communication back saying, "Yeah, we got him covered." Our attempts to contact them were going silent. So I lost confidence that I should go there. I didn't trust the winds, the currents. I didn't trust that I would be safe, and I decided that I should just get off the water, find a spot. So I was aiming for Surigao Strait, Leyte Gulf, Tacloban,
Tacloban.
uh, and then Legazpi was one of the options, and I toyed with the idea of going through San Bernardino Strait all the way to Manila. And I said, no, don't complicate it. Just take the easiest option. But this was by no means any easy. Even though the currents and winds were pointing in this direction, I was always threatened to be put off course by squalls as I near shore, and also currents were very strong north of Summer Island,
Yeah,
south of here.
summer.
As I was coming by the corner there, squalls would form over land and then try to push me farther north. I could have ended farther north than all by Gulf.
Okay.
So I ended up staying on the oars 40 hours nonstop until I entered the Alby Gulf.
Okay.
When I entered, I was able to sleep 4 hours in 1 hour increments. Then I was back on the oars. 12 more hours of nonstop. I came to this point here,
Sulat Channel.
Manito
Manito,
Beach.
yeah. How there you go.
Yeah, near there, I was able to drop anchor. Finally, I found the depth. As soon as I found that, I said, "That's it. I need to rest. I need to sleep." And then I woke up in the morning. I couldn't lift the anchor. Cut the line. I kept going.
So, are you tired of the time?
I was tired because for the last 10 days, it wasn't just the last 2 days that I'm talking about. The 40 hours, 4 hours sleep, 12 hours. That's a 48 hour, almost 3 day period of very stressful ending here to make it. I'm the engine, right?
Yeah.
Before that, for the past week, I had been on 6 hours sleep. So I would sleep 4 hours, wake up, row in the middle of the night, and from wake up 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, row until 5 a.m., go down for another nap, 2 hours, get up, have my breakfast, start again. It was that kind of grueling constant effort. It was difficult to land here,
Yes, sir.
but it was the best option though.
But prior to that, what is your job before you started your journey? Because this is your 15th time, right, or 16th time, or
Yes.
you are a 15th time Guinness Book of Record
Yeah.
holder. What is your job before this?
I was an engineer. I was in the software development field. I was a project manager. I have an MBA. I have a mechanical engineering degree. I have experience. In '97, there was a world map on the wall of our office,
Uh-huh.
and I would stand in front of that and daydream. It had the Americas on the right, Pacific in the middle,
Yeah.
old world on the left. I would trace my finger. It was Washington, D.C. is where I was working. Across the Bering Strait to Turkey, where I'm originally from. And
So are you from Turkey?
yes,
Turkish American.
yes, I was born in Cyprus, raised in Turkey. I went to the U.S. for graduate studies, and then ended up staying. So one way or another. Um, so I was daydreaming about this idea that I could go to Turkey. And then, of course, if you go there, you don't stop on the map. You can trace your finger across easily. So that's how the idea started.
Yeah.
And a friend, while rock climbing together, fell and died. His name was Goran Kropp.
Uh-huh.
He was Swedish. He had bicycled from Sweden to Nepal in 1996.
Sweden to Nepal.
To Nepal in 1996. He was towing his climbing gear behind his bicycle on a trailer. He was famous for that. He encouraged me to get started, and then when we had an accident while rock climbing together and he died, I said, "That's it. Life is short. I need to get on with my journey." In his memory, I added the highest summit on each continent. And 2003, I bicycled up to Alaska from Seattle, where I lived, towing my climbing gear just like him,
Uh-huh.
and walked the length of the glacier to the base camp and then up the summit with four other friends. And that was the summit number one. And then I started my circumnavigation in 2007, July, from California, and went to Papua New Guinea waters. I was trying to reach Australia. I got pushed ways. Eventually, I made it to Australia, across the Coral Sea, and climbed Kosciuszko there in 2010. And I left from Australia, crossed the Indian Ocean to Madagascar, and reached Mozambique. And in Africa, I climbed Kilimanjaro with my father, who was 79 at the time. He had taken me up my first mountain, and I think took him up his last serious mountain. And then I continued from there across the Atlantic back to where I started. So that was a 5-year, 11-day effort to circumnavigate. So the 3 summits were done. On this crossing, my goal was to leave from North America across the Pacific to mainland Asia, and then bicycle from there to foothills of Everest to attempt that.
So interesting.
And then from there, bicycle on to Russia, its border with Georgia, where Elbrus is. That's the highest point in Europe. Then I would go to Portugal, go to uh, Guyana, to go to South America's highest point, which is Aconcagua. So those are the summits that remain on my to-do list. So those are the things that I have been doing. And once the summits are complete, then I can sit back and say, all right, maybe I should write a book.
Well, sir,
Stay with my wife for a while.
Yeah. And I'm glad that I met you tonight. I've said I am the only Bicolano broadcaster being sent by the government to other countries also to study about the history, and I found your story is very interesting, right? So can I use your story to discuss this in my program, because I have the radio program also here in Dubai.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I can also help you maybe in some other way.
You have my website address?
Can I answer?
Uh, is this Android?
Yeah.
It's a different. These iPhones.
Sir, may I ask how scary it is in the ocean?
It's not scary.
It's not scary.
Did you
If you
happen
used to, if you used to do it, it's not scary anymore.
did you happen to encounter any dangerous stuff along the way?
I have to. I have to make sure that I am keep my body in working order, and also the boat in working order.
How many years have you been doing this?
I've been. My first ocean row was in 2005, 2006 season across the Atlantic, and uh, during my circumnavigation, I also rode across the Pacific, Bismarck Sea, Coral Sea, Indian Ocean, and Atlantic eventually. Yeah, I did. I rode a race with another person, a British young man, from Monterey Bay, California to Waikiki. It's called the Great Pacific Race. That was 2016. And then now, finally, I am able to do another serious crossing like this. I'm glad I kept my rowboat, and I was able to bring it to shape, quickly prepare, and be ready and depart.
Okay. In 15-year time, the same robot that you're using.
Yes. Except the one that I did with another person. We used it on a different boat that he had rented from someone else.
Okay.
So that was an interesting experience with different rowboats. It's good to get on different builds and see what's different. Because I want to build my own rowboat myself. This one is plywood.
Yeah.
It was built in 2001 by two British men to race in the Atlantic rowing race. The Atlantic rowing race organizers would send the participants with these kits,
Yeah.
the laser cut plywood
Uh-huh.
kits, and then they would build it. And everybody would come to the starting line with a one design vessel that met the safety requirements. So they started doing that in '97. All these boats that were used in those races were then sold secondhand. This rowboat was used in 2001 by two men to row to Barbados from Canary Islands. They took over 100 days. And a mother-daughter British team rowed it in 2004.
Yeah.
They took 120 days or so to do the same. And then I got from them, from then on it's been with me. I have put another 1,100 days myself on it. So this boat is actually a historic vessel with all the most days on it.
So, Sir Erden, what is your family name? Eruc? Eruc.
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 Erden
Erden Eruc.
Eruc.
Ah, okay, thank you very much.
Sir, may I ask how are you able to navigate these places? Do you use digital or manual maps?
I have digital.
GPS.
I have a chart plotter. It uses GPS. Electronic travel plotting is what I use regularly, and I have small handheld ones as well that are battery operated if necessary, so I know where I am. I do have paper charts, but you can't have paper charts for every water. You have it for the areas where you are going to hope to approach land. Uh, on big ships, they have drawers of charts. And they can have a navigation table where you can stand and plot things in.
Yeah.
You can't do that this boat. I'm barely fitting in there with all sorts of bags and loose stuff that is around me. Uh, it's like a little tent.
Yeah.
And it's very tight. So you don't want to be messing around with paper and plotting and rulers. And it's just fantasy. It just does not work.
Okay.
So you do one waypoint and then you keep a general heading and then eventually you figure out where you are. That's what I would have done if I had to use paper charts.
Okay.
But with the chart plotter and electronic systems, I have, for example, what's called AIS, Automatic Information System. That um, tells me where other vessels are, and they can see me, I can see them.
Okay.
If there's risk of collision, alarm will sound, and I will have to then get on the VHF, talk to them, or when they hear it, they will change course. I usually let them know this is a rowboat, no engine, no sail. Please change course. They do.
Yeah.
Uh, Normally, we have to let the vessel coming from the starboard side pass. They have right of way, and I would be the give way vessel normally if I were a power boat. I'm not a power vessel, and I am very limited in what I can do. I usually cannot change course to my heart's content to let these ships. So it's easier to call them and have them change course. And they definitely pay attention.
That's
Sir,
nice.
how about your food source? Where do you get them?
Food comes with me from the start. I have all my food on board. It is, and I use dried food that's inside pouches, special packed.
Okay.
I boil water and put it into the pouch. And 20 minutes later, the food is edible.
Oh,
I have solar panels that charge batteries on board. 200 amp hour battery capacity I have. 290 watt solar panel setup feeds 200 amp hour battery capacity. From that, I run a 12-volt system. That 12-volt system runs my desalinator to make water, fresh water from the sea. My my navigation light at night I use from that system. Things I charge and use, like my satellite phone, my anything that I charge and use, I would
so almost
use that.
complete. Technically speaking, you have all these gadgets and this
Yeah, what I don't have are an engine
Yeah,
or sails.
because it's just a rowboat, right?
How high are the waves that you encountered?
I never got more than 15 feet.
15 feet.
1.5.
Yeah, that's considered 15th floor of a building.
4 meter seas.
4 meter. Yeah.
4 meter seas are about 12 feet, so you can get a bit more than that every now and then. Bounces up a bit higher. Um, when you have long fetch blow that's sustained for a long while, you can start getting those kinds of waves.
Okay.
The dangerous situations when you have waves, for example, in winter, you start getting waves from the northwest,
Yeah.
and then the wind is coming from the northeast.
Oh,
They
that's
collide, and then you start getting boxing seas, where it's up and down, rather than regular traveling, rolling seas. Those, even if the waves are big, they're fine. But if you get cross seas like that, then you start getting breaking waves that overlap, and then they get big, and then they dump on you, fill the deck, do damage to the boat.
So, Sir Arden, until when did you stay here in the Gaspi? Is this your first time in the Philippines?
No, my
No.
second time. 2008, 2009,
Living here.
I was in General Santos City
Okay.
with my rowboat. Frobel Fishing Corporation picked up my boat north of Papua New Guinea,
Yeah.
and I was trying to row to Australia. The La Nina season was very strong. It didn't allow me south of the equator. I ended up north of Papua New Guinea, and Frobel Fishing Corporation had their tuna fleet there. They helped, picked up my boat in May when the first typhoon of the season formed near Palau. Said, this is too dangerous, and we asked for help. They were ready to help. We brought the boat to General Santos City, and then I left it with them. They put it in a container, locked it away, took good care of me, very friendly, warm, welcoming crew. I became part of the fleet with them.
That's good.
Spent 2 weeks coming back to General Santos City with the tuna catch
Yeah.
in a reefer vessel, right? Refrigerated holds to bring it back to markets. And so I was on one of those with my rowboat. And they took care of the boat, and then the following Christmas we left General Santos City. It's Christmas of 2008, and January 15 they put me where they picked me up.
Okay.
North of Papua New Guinea, so I could continue on my journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
And typhoon season was over.
So here in the Gaspi City, how long you stay here?
Legazpi is the first time I'm visiting, and I am in Legazpi until we find out how we're going to store my rowboat. Today we just had this wild idea. Maybe we put it in a glass case in the mall
Uh-huh.
with
For a show.
information sheets on it, pictures telling the story. This is the boat.
So maybe
Instead of putting it in a warehouse, we put it on display.
Yeah.
Everybody sees it, everybody owns it because it's now a story of Legazpi.
yes, yes.
Because this journey came to Legazpi, we talk about Legazpi all the time, it's on display in Legazpi. It becomes Legazpi's own.
Yeah.
And then when the time comes for me to return, I will do my research, decide when to launch. I will probably launch in January or February because Cebu City got hit by typhoon in December this year. Terrible. So maybe I have to leave a little later, right? So now January, February is on in my mind. We'll look at all the data, decide the best time. I will come here and look at how the currents are resetting. The northeast monsoons will start
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So right now everything goes toward Taiwan.
Oh,
If I left now, it would take me through Luzon Strait, east of Taiwan, north toward Japan. And the winds are turning as well. You can't leave right now. It's too late. I missed that opportunity by not going down to Celebes Sea. I now have to wait for the right season. So when the monsoons turn, reverse again, start coming from the northeast, the seas will also turn. And depending on how things are setting up, I could launch from Manila, Subic Bay, or San Fernando even,
Oh, okay.
so which is farther north, and then try to get to Vietnam.
So maybe a couple of weeks or a week from now, you are still here. You will stay here.
I should be here another 10 days, I'm guessing.
Around 10 days. So
Things are moving very slowly, and we didn't get much done until now. I was tired
Yeah.
too. Honestly, when I landed, it was just a basket case. Now the weekend is in the way.
yeah.
Monday, I think things will pick up. We'll start making phone calls for real
Yeah.
and
Right,
try to
reviews.
make some arrangements. By the end of next week, I'm hoping we will have some answers.
Yeah. Because I'm planning to invite you for a dinner next day so that you can meet also my friends and media from Metro Manila. They will come. So so that I can arrange also
Yes,
a special day for you with my family,
of
so that we
course.
can have dinner.
That would be
Is it
nice.
okay?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question. Do you have any inspirations for the others who want to be like you?
Good. Say it again. I'm sorry. Good question.
Let me repeat. Do you have any inspirations for the people who want to be like you?
Do you want to be like me? Don't be like me. Your wife will miss you very much. Don't be like me.
Yes.
But no, whatever your dream is, it doesn't have to be what I'm doing. Everybody has their own goals, everybody has their own dreams. But typically, what happens is we get these ideas, they are fleeting thoughts, we don't latch onto them, we don't own them, they evaporate. We don't commit to them, we let them slide. Or we tell it to our friend and they say, nah, you can't do that. And then they say, yeah, you're right. And then you start clipping your own wings. The dream never turns into a plan to execute. So to be able to go from dream phase to planning phase, you have to take that idea, you have to own that idea, and then you have to protect that idea. You don't let others come and stomp on that idea. It needs to take root. You plant a little tree, if somebody comes and stamps on it, that will never become a big tree. You
Yeah.
have to put a fence around it, protect it, water it, take care of it. Yes, it's the same concept. And then you have to set goals. You have to have long-term goals. You have to divide them into short-term steps, each achievable in their own right, step by step. And as you come to the first step and you achieve it, you say, "Oh, that's nice. I succeeded." You learn something. You got experience now. You have more knowledge. You have a network. You have people you know. And as you take more steps and get more successful, get more success, then you learn how to succeed, and success becomes a habit.
Thank you for that answer, sir.
Yeah, so you need to be able to, and these goals will allow you to make choices as well as you work through life. You will make financial choices. You will make um, choices in how you choose your friends. You will make choices on what you do every day, what books you read, how you spend your time, where you travel, where you live. All those choices that you make, you have this goal in mind. You're going to steer your life in that direction over time. Life is short. Before you know it, you'll be 50, and you look back and you say, "Wow, I wasted a lot of time." Trust me, I'm 60.
Yeah. It's a
So
very good advice. A very good idea from an experienced man.
you have to have big goals, and don't shortchange yourself. When I started my circumnavigation in 2007, I didn't know that I could finish. By the time I finished, I had set 15 Guinness World Records and established historic firsts. Became the first person to have both three oceans. Became the first person to have completed a solo circumnavigation by any power. I became that person who could. I didn't know if I could finish. I had to start. By the time I finished, I had set all these records along the way, the sum of which became the circumnavigation. Right? So become the person who can break 15 Guinness World Records if you have that big dream of circumnavigation.
That's very difficult, right?
Yeah, but that's the truth. You just
Yeah.
grow to become that person. So if you have that big dream, you don't say, I can't do that. You can't do it today.
Yeah.
But the future you will be doing it. You don't know that until you become the future you.
All right.
Unless you focus on your present, sir.
You have to develop, evolve, learn, gain experience, gain friends, make money, find resources, rally the community around your idea. I am a guest here in the hostel. They had no obligation to take me in. I arrived by rowboat. They said, you're going to stay here. Governor met me. They had another hotel arranged for me. You're going to stay here. All of a sudden, I was being hosted. I was being a guest, treated as a guest of honor. Why? It's not because my name is Erden. It's because I'm on this journey. People are honoring my journey.
Right.
I am the face of the journey.
Precisely.
I have to uphold this journey. I have to be a good representative for the journey. I have to tell the good story. I have to make sure that I give it my best effort to accomplish what I said I would do, complete this journey by human power. It's an ideal, and everybody understands how difficult such a thing is, and they say, well, that is respectable. And then they want to be part of the journey. They latch on. They become travelers with me. Even if they can't do it, they start traveling with me vicariously. So those are wonderful ideas, wonderful concepts, and it brings out the best in humanity. What I say is journey provides. My journey provides. I just have to stay on it and honor it.
That's it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so sir, then as I said a while ago, what about you, maybe a couple of days from now, we'll be back here to invite you for a dinner with my family, friends.
Do you have your card? Or,
No, I don't have card. You have number.
um,
Sir, may I request something after this interview? Something like shout out or something like
What?
that. A shout out
Shout out.
after
Shout
this
out.
interview.
Hello to all of us.
I see.
It's in the blind.
I see.
Yeah. It's
So, you have WhatsApp?
blind. I only have. Do you have WhatsApp? No.
Meron.
Viber. Meron ka?
Kaso nasa lumang number.
Oh, it's only Viber app.
Um, no social media in that way.
Facebook? I have my Facebook here.
You can messenger me then.
Okay.
So look up Erden Eruc, ERUC.
Okay. Here's my Facebook account. Erasco Alep. You can add me.
This one.
Yeah, right.
This
That's
one.
it. Yeah.
So I will message you.
Yeah.
Then we are connected. Yep. I wrote my last name incorrectly. Can you believe that?
My dad also has a French friend, which
It's a phone, right? From Italy, from Prague.
I will send you my website address as well, so it will be a hot link.